Hi guys, this is your most hated K. um, I only say that because of all the previous comments on our Obi versus Tinubu. A lot of people, I mean, even though we beg that people should listen to understand, apparently people are still in their feelings about being a Tinubu supporter. But well, let's move on. I know they understand where I came from. So, and if you do not know what we're talking about, go and watch our previous videos. Who would be a better president? Peter Obi versus Tinubu against Tinubu. I went with Tinubu, and my buddy N went with Obi. Okay, let's get into today's case. Well, it's not even today. This has been something we wanted to discuss a while back. Is this Uganda criminalization bill against the LGBTQ community in Uganda? You know, if you do not know what we're talking about, we're talking about the news where a bill they want to pass a bill. It has already been brought to the Senate or to the Parliament, where they will criminalize people that identify as LGBTQ in the country, and it's punishable by 20 years to even death. I advise that when you see things like that, before reacting, go and read before, because sometimes the headline is just to grab your attention. Sometimes you have to go and read it and understand it. Just because I don't want it to be too long, I'm just going to kind of hit the facts, just, go and read more into it to understand it. But I'm just going to share my own 2 cents and allow my brother to also enough room to share his. A lot of people have condemned it, including myself. But before I go any further, I want to point out certain things. After reading it and after understanding it, it is clear that Uganda has homosexuality has was always illegal in the country. It's not like they just woke up yesterday and decided to crack down. It's always been illegal. Because the first thing I noticed was if it was passed in the parliament, it means a lot of people agreed to it. So you have to go and find out why in the first place. A lot of these lawmakers agreed to, passing this bill. Is because homosexuality is already legal in Uganda, if you did not know. And like I said, they said 20 years to death. I'm like, wow, death? And then I went and realized that death was just for those who, kind of with aggravated homosexuality, just pretty much like rape of children. So I personally, if anything is done to any child, if you rape any child, I think you should suffer severe consequences. I don't want to say death, but pretty close to that. So it's not understandable if they said, if you rape a child, a boy, or if a man rapes a boy, then I think the punishment should be severe also. So I had to like death. Why? Because of your sexuality, And, I also have to look at why, it passed in that same parliament. And their claim is because they are trying to uphold the church culture. Forgive me if you're Christian or if you're strong on religion, but once I hear that, I'm like, it's more like, to me, it's more like from frying pan to fire kind of thing, because none of these cultures are ours anyway. But let me not deviate. It says they want to protect the church culture and then the traditional family, So, what is my take on it? It's my take is just I've learned over time that as human beings we are not supposed to judge others, especially if what they do does not affect our well-being. I used to almost be against homosexuality. But then I grew up and realized that what if a person decides to do with their body, or their life. It's their choice. As long as that decision does not affect me physically, especially mentally, psychologically, maybe slightly, if I feel this is, but physically, if it's not affecting me, I have no right to judge another person for how they decide to live their life. I learned that early because, I mean, I won't like anybody to judge me for what I do to myself, So I've learned that over time, and I also understand trying to uphold the traditional family, because as much as I do not need to judge anybody, I'm not necessarily saying I'm in support of homosexuality. I think more of it. I don't necessarily think it's the best thing, but to each his own. So I kind of understand when they say they want to protect the traditional family, because they are just looking at countries that fully are trying to adopt it and looking at how it is turning out. And they probably are saying, okay, you know what, for religious reasons and for upholding the traditional family, they they would need to take these measures. But I sincerely think that these measures are extreme. Punish someone who rapes a child, fine, but do not punish them for identifying as something else, especially when it comes to their sexual orientation. Like, it should not. I'm sure Uganda is poor, and I'm sure they have issues that the government need to worry about. I know they can do many other laws and worry about many other things, but people's sexuality should not be punishable by death, or 20 years. No, I disagree. I completely disagree with that. So I would allow, this is part one, and I would allow my brother, create, because so that we don't make this too long, I'll allow my brother and speak on what he, his own part, what he feels about this, if he wants to. But yes, let me know how you all feel about this too. It seems it will pass. Because I don't think it has been signed into law yet. But based on the stories, and if you read it, you realize that it most likely will pass. That's the first thing you have to look at. If the whole house brought it, and even the one or two people or a couple of people are against it, it passed, then you should know that the majority of them feel the same way. So let me know how you feel about this. Let me go back in the comment section, and regardless of if I was a Tinubu supporter, let me know how you feel about this. Y'all have a great day.